Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is D. And today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is Six of Stones and Exploitation. And what this card talks about is the overuse of resources that pretty much cause an imbalance, and it's damaging to yourself. But, you know, when I look at this card through the day, I try to make sure I don't get out of balance with what's going on. I try to make sure that I don't overdo it. Yesterday, I kind of overdid my own resources, and I know I'm going to pay for it, later on today, because I went for an 8-mile run, and I've been training, and even though I've been training, I haven't been going the full distances. I've been doing 4 miles here, 3 miles there, and yesterday was an 8-mile run, and my legs are feeling it from the run yesterday. My lower back is feeling it, so I overused my own resources. All right, and that created an imbalance for me throughout the rest of the day, because there was a lot of other things I wanted to take care of, and those things didn't happen. But because I was out of energy. I was physically tired, mentally tired, spiritually tired, because the energy that I had when I was out there, I exploited it. I pushed myself to a limit, and now I'm paying for it. So, that's just an example of how you can exploit your own resources. If you look at the world's resources, and I've talked about it before, we've got the great big pit out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it's nothing but a plastic pit. We're doing what we can to, clean everything up, but it's so vast and so wide, and it's microplastic now that, other animals are dying off of that. That's exploiting our world's resources that we have. The other thing that you're seeing going on around the world is the exploitation of safe resources. People hoarding masks for this coronavirus. For the healthcare workers that, need these things, so they can, do their job and not become infected with this. And as we continue to see the cases go up and the deaths go up with this, you can only imagine the limited number of resources that that the world has to keep people alive. And hospitals are making decisions on whether who needs the right resources or not. And federal governments are doing the same thing. Who gets ventilators? Who gets masks? And nobody's working together to help each other out. It's kind of like a free for all. Some countries, the black market is what's driving up the cost, on some of these things. And we need to take better care of ourselves so we don't get sick, for one, but we also need to take better care of the resources that we do have, and not exploit others for monetary gain, financial gain, power, political gain, things of that nature. Because when stuff like that happens, it shows how we are in our character. Okay? It shows our real, true, intentions that we do have. All right? And, I try to be honorable in a lot of things that I do. I try to be upfront, and I try not to exploit, others for that stuff. But, I'm not a politician. I am not somebody that's dealing stuff on the black market. When I go into a grocery store and I need toilet paper, I'm buying one thing of toilet paper. All right? Because, I want to share it with everybody else. Maybe that's, foolish on my part for being kind, but, I look at it and, if somebody else comes home with another roll of toilet paper, that's good. Now we've got twice as much. But leave some for other people. Let them use it as well. Don't exploit, what's out there. Same thing with the masks. I have no problem, wearing bandanas, when I'm out in public, or, when I'm out, going to the grocery store or anything like that. If that's the mandate, then that's the mandate. The same thing with, if our government says stay at home. Okay, I'm going to stay at home. If I need to go out and get some food, I'm going to go out and get some food. Because she's given me that right, to do that, or gas, or go to the bank. But, I'm not going to go traveling across, the state of Michigan to, check on, family and friends and stuff like that, because I got a phone I can use. I can do FaceTime, I can do Zoom, I can do, whatever. All right, and use the resources that I have and use them appropriately, to talk with the people that I want to talk with. Okay. Instead of being silly and wasting that resource of gas and possibly driving into a hot zone, where other people are sick, I'd rather just reach out on a phone and, hey, you're staying safe, I'm staying safe. Let's keep, going forward with that. And, when everything's in the clear, I'll come visit you guys. But, the exploitation of the planet's resources is motivated on a flawed belief of entitlement. Everybody feels that they're entitled to, their own little piece of the world, their own little piece of, their job, their own little piece of their friends, their own little piece of, their social arena, their own little piece of the political system. That entitlement, just because it's there, okay, to use doesn't mean it's there to overuse. Entitlement means you have to have some sort of responsibility, and that's that 10 of bows that comes up, that responsibility, that you need to be responsible with what you do have. And when you're responsible with that and you show people you're responsible with that, then you're allowed to have more, okay? But in these times right now, it shouldn't be a selfish attitude. It should be a selfless attitude, a selfless attitude of love to help everybody get through this. Just not your family, but the neighbors across the street, the neighbors down the street, the neighbors in the next county. Everybody needs to get through this for us all to survive, so the economy can come back, so we can be selfless in making sure, that everybody stays healthy and everybody gets back on the financial ground that we were on 3 weeks ago. As the world's financial, education, government, and health systems break, and you're seeing it, this crisis is putting a lot of pressure on a lot of governments around the world. Can they handle it? Time will tell. Until we start flattening that curve, all right, and in making headway against this virus, that's the only way, we're going to get through this. All right, and as we watch every day on the news, we see the financial stocks around the world. Some days are down, some days are up, some days are back down, some days are back up. The volatility in that market is making a lot of people wonder what the heck is going on. The educational system around the United States, most kids are home for school. Okay, is my son going to graduate? Will they have enough credits to graduate next year? Parents are looking for homeschooling now, looking for other avenues to use the resources. They don't want to wait 3-4 weeks for, a new system to come out of online learning and, put these kids through, an online school system over the summer. What is that going to do for our school system moving forward? Have we used our resources correctly? And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we, revamp that educational system because of this. Government systems are doing the same thing. You're seeing it across the world. We weren't prepared for this. We don't know how to handle this. They've got a lot of people in power and political power that are trying to fix what's going on and lead their nations to, some sort of calmness and stability and security during this pandemic. And the best way to do that is listen to your leaders. Stay at home. Work on what's going on within your own home and do your part to use your resources in the right way. Don't exploit it for others, and pray for your leaders to make the right decisions, and hopefully you're on the right side of this. If you're on the wrong side of this, I'm praying for you. I don't want to see anybody, go through this and become ill and, come down with this. And, if you're financially burdened, I'm praying for you. If your government's not doing what it needs to do for you, I'm praying for you. And, if your health system isn't allowed, things to work for you, I'm praying for you. Because, all I can give you is my prayers and my love. Okay? The love that the universe has, the love that, Spirit has for people. And, I've got a lot to give. And this crisis is weighing on me heavily. The death tolls around the world, I feel it. It's a burden, all right? It's a burden on those families. It's not something that I put upon myself. I can feel it. And, it's not neither right or wrong. It's just, you know what? I've got a lot of love, and, it's going out to you and the viewers because, if you're going through this, I'm praying for you. I want you to get through this. I want you to be happy and safe. And hopefully these messages convey that love, into you. That's the resource that I have. I don't exploit it. That's the universal love, the spiritual love that comes down. All right. And, the universe is wide and vast. All right. And so is the love. So even though everything's breaking down, we shouldn't lose faith. We shouldn't lose faith in our leaders. They're there for a reason. They're there to help lead us out of this. Okay. And, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Those leaders that lead us out of this, I'm not going to say they're great. I'm not going to say they're good, but they're doing what they have to do with, what they have available. And, those that are watching, whether they're copycatting or doing the same things, kudos, because those leaders that put the parameters in place to help flatten that curve, to help see those cases and those death rates go up, eventually they're going to start coming down. All right. And then they're going to start preparing for the next wave, for when it does happen, if it does happen. Okay. So we have to keep that faith in our leaders in our community, leaders in our government system, leaders within your own family. Look to what's going on to your matriarchs and patriarchs. Okay. And keep them safe and keep them healthy. All right. Continue to pray. Continue to shed that love out for other people. We need to be aware of the worldly exploitation that's going on. Because once you're aware of that, you may not be able to do anything, but what you can do is give out love and prayer. Prayer for your fellow man, for those over in Asia, for those over in Africa, for those on every continent. Everybody's dealing with it. The other thing that's going to happen is our children are going to see that, all right, and they're going to be better prepared for when this does happen years down the road, if it does happen again. Some of us haven't seen this, okay? But those that are seeing this, that are experiencing that, okay, it's going to be imprinted on their mind. Just like, the terrorist attacks. Those are imprinted on people's minds when they were born, okay? And every 20 years, they may have to go through this stuff. I hope not. But if they do, guess what? They're going to be prepared for it because they're resilient enough to move forward. They're resilient enough to be humble, and look to the heavens for that answer. Look to spirit, look to to the universe for those answers. So that's today's card, Six of Stones, exploitation. Let's not exploit what we have out there, and let's use our resources wisely. So this is D for the Spirit's Path. Hit that like button for me and subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, stay safe, and God bless.